Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. The conflict between Israel, the US, and Iran is continuing to escalate as it enters its fifth week. Israel has struck Iran's nuclear facilities after vowing to expand its military campaign. Iran responded with a strike on a US base in Saudi Arabia, wounding at least 10 American service members. US officials say 2 of those troops were seriously injured, and several aircraft were damaged. Iran says the targeted nuclear sites did not sustain casualties or cause any radiation risk. Israel, however, called the strike a major blow to Iran's nuclear program. Meanwhile, Iran has continued missile attacks on Israel, triggering sirens and forcing residents to take shelter in multiple areas. Officials say the situation remains highly tense as both sides continue military actions. In a related development, Israel says it's intercepted a missile launched from Yemen early Saturday. This marks the first time Israel has faced fire from Yemen during the current conflict. Iran-backed Houthi rebels claimed responsibility, saying they fired ballistic missiles at what they called Israeli military targets in the south. The Houthis have controlled Yemen's capital since 2014 and had previously stayed out of the fighting. Meanwhile, Iran has agreed to allow humanitarian aid and agricultural shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway is critical to global trade, handling about 20% of the world's oil shipments. Health officials are monitoring a new COVID-19 variant after a recent rise in cases. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the variant known as cicada has been detected in at least 23 countries. It was first identified in South Africa in November 2024. Officials say the variant has remained mostly under the radar, which is how it got its name. While it is not yet a major source of cases in the US, it has been detected in wastewater in more than 24 states. Experts say it's too early to know how fast it could spread or how effective current vaccines will be. However, they are watching closely for a possible surge this summer. Golf legend Tiger Woods has pleaded not guilty in connection with a DUI case following a crash in South Florida. Authorities say Woods flipped his SUV last Friday after striking the back of a trailer on Jupiter Island. No one was injured in the crash. Police say Woods showed signs of impairment at the scene, and he was arrested on suspicion of DUI. A breathalyzer test was negative for alcohol, but officers say he admitted to taking prescription medication. Court documents also showed 2 hydrocodone pills were found on him at the time. Woods has waived his next court appearance and is requesting a jury trial. He is currently scheduled to be arraigned on April 23rd. On Wednesday, April 1st at 6:35 p.m., NASA launched their historical Artemis II moon mission rocket that took off from Cape Canaveral, Florida, to orbit the moon. NASA has not sent astronauts to the moon since 1973. The Artemis II mission will be the farthest humans have ever traveled in history. The spacecraft, named Integrity, is taking astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen on a 10-day, 695,000-mile journey to circle the dark side of the moon and then return to Earth. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman told reporters NASA is back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon, calling the half-century hiatus a brief intermission. The Artemis II mission will be the beginning to clear a path for more exploration and a possible future lunar landing mission. For more information on the Artemis II mission and live updates, please visit nasa.gov. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Cooking is the leading cause of home fires. Unattended cooking is the leading cause of these fires and related deaths. Therefore, keep a close eye on your cooking. If you must leave the kitchen, bring a utensil with you as a reminder of your efforts. Set a timer for food taking longer to cook. Turn pot handles towards the back of the stove. Keep a lid nearby when cooking. If a small grease fire starts, slide the lid over the pan and shut off the burner. You can take an active role in your safety. Cooking safety starts with you.
No matter where you live, water is a part of your life. And when a storm comes, that rainfall washes over everything and flows into your storm water system, bringing pollution and contaminants into our waterways and reservoirs. Keeping this water clean is important, and you can help. Properly dispose of pet waste. Use caution with lawn fertilizers and pesticides, and never let car fluids enter a storm drain or waterway. Think Blue means clean water for you. Learn more at thinkbluema.org.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton. Now we'll be getting into more stories. On Monday, March 30th, the Braintree School Committee met to discuss their fiscal year 2027 budget for consideration and approval. Sarah Kaufman, the Finance and Operations Director, gave a brief presentation. Here's more from Sarah Kaufman.
So on your screen, you'll see our FY27 proposed budget by DESI code. This is our $86.2 million budget that was shared with the committee last week. And just by way of review, the biggest cost drivers related to our FY27 increases are our contractual salary increases, as well as our special ed costs related to our programs. So contractual salary increases drive our budget growth well above of our salary base that moves steps and or lanes in addition to the COLA increases. So for example, a teacher moving a step will see an increase of 7 to 8% in their annual salary. If they're moving a lane, it's even higher. Our operating budget supports over 800 teachers, and over 400 are still moving steps, and some other units also move steps as well. So secondly, our increased enrollment in our sub-separate programs drives costs also above our 3.5% growth rate target. And this is twofold. So we see increases in our transportation with our small buses and also in our staffing costs, because these are very staff intensive programs with high staff to student ratios. So as a reminder, our FY27 budget is $1 million below our level services budget, which includes 12 positions to be eliminated. So the positions we've identified to eliminate are 4 in the elementary schools at Flaherty, Highlands, Liberty, and Morrison, 4 general education paras at Liberty and Highlands, and 4 middle school teachers, 2 at East and 2 at South. At East, it's a science math position and an LECE position, and at South, it's an ELA position and an LECE position.
Also following the presentation, Elizabeth Maglio, Vice President and District 3 Town Councilor representing the East Braintree community, made a brief statement regarding the school committee's possible consolidation of some of the Braintree schools. Here's more from District 3 Town Councilor Elizabeth Maglio.
So good evening, everyone. I'm Liz Maglio. I'm the District 3 Town Councilor. I'm a representative of the East Braintree community. And I want to be very clear, I'm not here to oppose consolidation. As a councilor, I understand the fiscal reality, and I accept that schools. What I cannot accept is closing them without asking who bears the cost, particularly after spending $400,000 more on a plan that hasn't substantially changed since it was presented a year ago. It was stated multiple times that there would be community input on the committee, yet residents who sought to serve were never responded to. Instead, the committee was made up of 5 town employees and a volunteer from the school committee, the same group that has been working on this all along. And I know you've all been working very hard, and this has taken a lot of time and it's painful, but I do feel it's important to point that out. Having the same set of people work with the same consultants and the same flawed data sets means the outcomes will likely be the same, and they were. In fact, there was agreement from the consultants, many school committee members, and the mayor that the survey was flawed, that it was just an attempt. But if the survey is flawed, then the data is flawed, and yet it's used and pointed to as meaningful. And then it produced this outcome, where Ross once again is on the chopping block. Ross, which serves 212 children, over 57% are high needs, 35% are low income, nearly a third speak a language other than English at home, 27% of disabilities. It's the highest needs school in this district. The framework used to rank it first for closure prioritized enrollment size and distance from the center of town. It did not ask what happens to these children. It did not examine why Ross has low enrollment, which itself may reflect years of disinvestment and a documented pattern of families steering away from this school and this neighborhood. It did not produce a plan for where these children go, what supports follow them, or whether receiving schools are prepared to serve them. We know that community members near one of the receiving schools have publicly and repeatedly negatively characterized renters as people who do not belong near children. That is on the record. Are those schools ready to receive the children of families who rent? A year ago, this group committed to more input, more analysis, more time, and I respect that. I respected it then, I respect it now. I'm here tonight because that time has passed and I still have the same questions which have not been answered. I am asking this committee, therefore, to commit tonight before any vote, which I don't know when that's happening. I think it's next week, but I don't know. I ask you to commit to producing a formal equity transition plan for Ross families before a single child is moved. That plan must address programming, disability services, English learner supports, language access for families, transportation, and the specific readiness of receiving schools to welcome this population. You've made it clear you're not going to look into the economic development aspects, so I'm not asking for that, but I am asking for the educational plan. The final decision is about to be made. The final fiscal decision is about to be made. The human decision needs a bit more work. Please don't confuse the two. And I thank you for this time.
To watch the Braintree School Committee meeting, tune in to BCAM TV Government Channel, Channel 8 on Comcast, and Channel 26 on Verizon. And check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/BCAMTV. A local animal rescue is inviting the community to help support cats in need. The Neponset Valley Humane Society will host its annual Cat Tillion fundraiser on Friday, April 11th in Braintree. The dinner and dance event raises money to help care for rescued cats throughout the Neponset Valley. The organization operates without a physical shelter, relying instead on volunteer foster homes to care for animals until they are adopted. Organizers say the fundraiser helps cover medical care, food and supplies for cats waiting for permanent homes. The event will take place at the Sons of Italy Lodge and will include dinner, live music from the Reminiscence, raffles, and other activities. Tickets and more information are available on the Neponset Valley Humane Society website. The Braintree Veterans Service Center has announced that the Veterans Pantry is back up and running. The pantry is now accepting donations of new clothing, toiletries, and non-perishable food items, all of which go directly towards supporting local veterans in need. The pantry serves veterans in Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Donations can be dropped off at the Veterans Service Center located at 74 Pond Street in Braintree. Town officials say the reopening of the pantry ensures veterans continue to have access to essential resources and support within the community. The Braintree Retirement Board will hold a public hearing later this month. The hearing is scheduled for Thursday, April 23rd at 4:15 p.m. It will take place at 74 Pond Street on the second floor. Officials will discuss a possible cost of living adjustment, also known as a COLA, for eligible Braintree Retirement System pension recipients. If approved, the adjustment would take effect July 1st, 2026. The public is welcome to attend. The meeting will be held in person with a remote option available through Zoom. The town of Braintree will begin its annual water flushing program on April 6th. The work will take place Monday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to midnight and will continue through the end of August. Officials say signs will be posted in areas where flushing is scheduled. Residents may notice temporary water discoloration during this time. Officials advise avoiding laundry during flushing hours and making sure water runs clear before use. For questions, residents can contact the Water and Sewer Department at 781-843-8097. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
I'm Mayor Erin Joyce, and I'd like to tell you about some important projects we're working on here in Braintree to improve the quality of our local water bodies and to protect our town from the dangers of flooding and stormwater runoff. Stormwater runoff is the water generated from rain and snowmelt that flows over hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground. Stormwater runs through a system of pipes in the street and into our local water bodies, such as the Cochado River, Farm River, Manatequit River, and Sunset Lake. In Braintree, we have a separate sewer system. So what does that mean? That means that there are actually 2 separate pipes in most streets that carry stormwater and sanitary sewer separately. So when it rains and water washes into our catch basin system, it ties into the stormwater system, which transports water to our water bodies. Over the past 5 years, the town of Braintree has been working hard to maintain and improve our stormwater drainage systems. Now, we're constructing retrofits to the drainage system. These drainage retrofits use the natural process of infiltration to improve water quality and reduce potential flooding in our neighborhoods. At Plain Street Cemetery, we're constructing a bioretention basin. What that is right before the water, which today runs piped to the Manatequit River. This project intercepts that pipe before it goes and discharges into the river. And it creates a place for the water to go first, which is the bioretention basin. And in that basin, plants and engineered soils will filter the water so that that water that's coming off of the neighborhood right now, unfiltered, untreated, will be collected into a rain garden, and that provides a lot of pollution control before the water ultimately makes it to the Manatequit River.
I'm Rachel Horak. I live here in Braintree, and I'm the president of Sustainable Braintree. We think of ways that we can help our residents of Braintree live healthier lives that are in better harmony with our planet. Bioretention basin at the cemetery site is part of an overall project to expand the Braintree Cemetery. And this project will not impact current burial sites, nor will it impact future burial sites. After the bioretention basin is constructed, we add native plants that help filter out the pollutants so that the water is a little bit cleaner. Some of the ways that residents can help are reduce the amount of fertilizers that you use on your lawn, picking up pet waste, reducing the amount of garbage in our streets, and also raking the catch basins that you might see on the roadways.
To pay for these projects, we're leveraging grants from the Mass DEP, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. As a Braintree resident, you should know that the town is actively working on projects that help improve the water quality in our water bodies. With your help and these projects, we will help filter pollution and keep Braintree's rivers, lakes, and streams beautiful for years to come.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. Massachusetts State Police arrested a Plymouth police officer and her husband last Thursday morning, charging them with multiple counts of child rape. 31-year-old Samantha Pellerine, along with her husband, 37-year-old Daniel Forand, were arrested after a man alleged the couple had sexually and physically abused him for years. The alleged victim wrote in an abuse prevention order that the abuse began after the couple took him in when he was 12 years old in 2018. The couple allegedly abused him until 2025 and physically abused him until earlier this year. In a statement released by the Plymouth Police Department, they said they are appalled and deeply disturbed, and Pellerine's duty status is currently under review. An Essex Superior Court judge found North Andover police officer Kelsey Fitzsimmons not guilty of assault with a deadly weapon. Fitzsimmons was charged after another North Andover police officer, Pat Noonan, claimed she pointed a gun at him while police were trying to serve her with a restraining order from her fiancé back in June of 2025. Officer Noonan said he shot Fitzsimmons in response, and she was brought to a hospital. Fitzsimmons said that she pointed the gun at herself, not Noonan, in an attempt to take her own life. Judge Jeffrey Karp read his verdict, saying the decision was difficult. Judge Karp said there was not enough evidence to prove the Commonwealth's claims, and both sides were adamant about what had happened. Judge Karp noted that the verdict likely would have been easier if body cameras had been used during the incident. All that snow in February had a big impact on school calendars around the state, and some parents want a change to be made. With snow days running rampant for schools during the blizzard of 26, many of those calendars are beginning to run well into summer break. Some districts, like Brockton schools, have decided to modify their schedules to include full days on religious holidays and a full day for the last day of school on June 26th. In a similar fashion, parents from Taunton have proposed a waiver that would shorten the 180-day school calendar, letting kids get out earlier, but the Taunton School Board has shot down the proposal from parents, standing firm on the June 30th release day. Parents aren't backing down on the waiver though, especially after finding out that Dighton Rehoboth and Freetown Lakeville school districts had their waivers approved. 2 Massachusetts natives have made Forbes' list of the highest paid actors of 2025. Mark Wahlberg ranked 3rd on the list, earning about $44 million. The Dorchester native starred in several projects last year and continues to earn from producing and past work. John Cena from West Newbury came in at number 11 with about $26 million in earnings. Cena, a former WWE star, has continued his acting career with major film and TV roles. Forbes says the rankings are based on pre-tax earnings from film and television projects released in 2025. The upcoming FIFA World Cup will see a new field at Gillette Stadium. After 2 decades of artificial turf, Gillette is using a true grass field. Crews were hard at work maintaining the new grass field as the arena preps to host several games throughout the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The home of the New England Patriots has been turfed since 2006, and Field Superintendent Ryan Bjorn said this modification will be different from past events. Bjorn said this is the first time they've completely rebuilt the entire profile to be a natural gas field. From learning the metric system for FIFA required measurements to ensuring a smooth, flat field for players to enjoy, Bjorn said it's a big change from dealing with turf. The field has already been tested out, hosting games for the New England Revolution, Boston Legacy FC, and an international friendly match between France and Brazil last Thursday. Feedback from players was positive, something Bjorn is very happy to hear. Thank you for tuning into Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment. The Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition is hosting its annual Against the Tide swim, run, and walk fundraiser to support breast cancer prevention. The event brings together participants of all ages to raise awareness and funds through fitness and community participation. 2 in-person events are scheduled this summer. The first will take place Saturday, June 20th at Hopkinton State Park in Hopkinton. The second event will be held Saturday, June 27th at Nickerson State Park in Brewster on Cape Cod. Participants can also choose a virtual option anytime between June 20th and June 27th. Participants can take part in a variety of activities depending on their interests and ability level. Events include a USATF certified 5 and 10 kilometer runs, a 1-mile competitive swim, half-mile and 1-mile recreational swims, and a 3-mile fitness walk. Registration for the event is open now. For more information or to sign up, visit mbcc.org/againstthetide. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now here are some new movies and shows that have been creating some social buzz. First, Mike and Nick and Alice follows 2 friends who navigate the dangerous world of organized crime, testing their loyalty and survival skills as they get deeper into the criminal underworld. The film stars Vince Vaughn and James Marsden. You can watch Mike and Nick and Alice now on Hulu. Up next, Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen is a series that follows Rachel and Nikki during the 5 days leading up to their wedding at a remote family cabin. Paranoia builds as a generations-old curse leads to gory, fatal events. The series stars Camilla Morone and Adam DeMarco. You can watch Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen now on Netflix. Finally, Project Hail Mary follows a science teacher who wakes up alone on a spaceship. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing Earth's sun and that an unexpected friendship may be the key. The film stars Ryan Gosling and Sandra Huller. You can watch Project Hail Mary now in theaters. That'll do it for news today. Don't forget, Verizon customers can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128 and Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.